And joining me now on the phone is CBSN political contributor and Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez. Leslie, always good to talk to you. You're you're an expert. That's why you can't catch a break on this holiday weekend.
No, and none of us will in 2017. We know that to be true.
Yeah, we know that to be true. All right, first up, let's go and start with the nuclear issue. Mr. Trump suggesting he wouldn't mind an arms race. That would, of course, reverse decades of bipartisan policy. Do people feel he's serious about this?
Absolutely. I think certainly when you think about the cognoscenti and all the folks and the policymakers in Washington, they are on full alert. The interesting part about this is, people think about Teddy Roosevelt, speak softly and carry a big stick. This is almost tweet boldly and carry a big stick. It is changing, yes, decades-old policy when it comes to downgrading the nuclear arsenal. But I think the reality is, which many Republicans are going to say, is that we are not living in reality. We haven't been living in a vacuum, and certainly the ongoing and increased nuclear threats on everything from North Korea, China, and certainly Russia are a reality the U.S. has not dealt with aggressively enough in the last years of the Obama administration. So that's where the starting point is when you're going into January.
But Leslie, just from a political perspective, why talk about nuclear weapons now? Is there a strategy, or do we think the president-elect is just tweeting what's on his mind?
The interesting part of that is we don't know. And this is going to be part of what is the hand-wringing for the media and certainly for the American population, not knowing what's really happening. What we know to be true is the political stakes are going to be shaped by a robust dialogue, and we're seeing that now. President-elect Trump is certainly upping the ante in terms of the rhetoric, the dialogue, and that the U.S. is going to once again be this strong force. I mean, DeMarco, one of the criticisms is many people felt that the American eagle had become the sitting duck around the world. That was the perspective. And this is really taking a very aggressive, a very bold change in tone. And it's unconventional. So is it true? Is it a little bit of jostling for political power? There's probably a combination of both. But until we see the new administration, what the cabinet looks like, and what he puts forward in the first 100 days, we're really not going to know.
And of course, we'll all be watching. Would Mr. Trump have support among Republicans in Congress for expanding the nuclear arsenal?
There has been a talk and a pressure by Republicans in Congress to certainly modernize the arsenal so that it could have capabilities for these ongoing threats. I mean, one of the things that they talk about is that Russia already has 400-plus nuclear warheads above and beyond the United States. The growing threat certainly talked about in China. These are very real issues that take a certain amount of time. So that may be one of the reasons we're seeing such an interest in it early on. These have long lead times to modernize a very kind of decayed, anemic military infrastructure, some would argue. So you're going to see Republican support there, but measured support. Are we putting the resources in the right way? And DeMarco, most importantly, where's the budget going to come from?
These latest tweets continue the impression that Mr. Trump admires Vladimir Putin. We've been talking about this for a while, but many Republicans feel very differently about Russia. How are these latest developments going over in the GOP?
It's going to be a complex thing. I don't think there's a lot of love for Russia, even though there are some polls that indicate that a third of Republicans want to see a different relationship. That's really going to be the key, DeMarco, is what is that contentious relationship going to look like? I think there's some that is for media value, like a bit pomp and circumstance that we're talking about, this kind of tweeting boldly. But behind the scenes, one thing we're very clear about is there will be very tough negotiations coming out of the new Trump administration. They are not going to give an inch on many of these things, especially when it comes to updating the nuclear arsenal and negotiating kind of this aspect. It's the appearance of U.S., not only the appearance, but the U.S. looking and being stronger across the globe. And it's going to be a growing pains. I think a lot of us are going to have growing pains getting through that process.
Oh, it's going to be a long process. Leslie, always good to talk to you. Please take a little time to enjoy today and tomorrow. I hope you have a safe, happy holiday.
Yes, happy holidays to all.
Thank you. Thank you.